Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Perfect Audience 101. My name is Max Stewart. I'm one of the customer success managers here at Perfect Audience. Today's session is for new or established customers, anyone who wants to learn more about the Perfect Audience retargeting platform. This will be a walkthrough, and it'll show you all the steps to take to get up and running with your first retargeting campaign and any future retargeting campaigns you'd like to run. If you have any questions, please type them into the questions box in the GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll handle questions at the end of today's session. Here's today's agenda. We'll cover what retargeting is, why it should be part of your company's digital strategy. I'll go through all the steps that you take when you get started and sign up for an account. I'll do a demonstration of the most high-level feature functions of the application, and we'll take questions and talk next steps after all that. So first and foremost, what is retargeting? Well, retargeting occurs when someone visits your website and their browser gets cookied with a little piece of code that we give you to put on every page of your website. If that person leaves your website without converting, that is to say without buying something or signing up for an account or whatever your website is designed to get people to do, they will likely visit other websites that participate in ad networks and ad exchanges. This browser cookie will allow Perfect Audience to show ads for you alongside the content that they're viewing. So if they're checking the sports scores, looking at the weather for this weekend, reading the news or their favorite blogs, maybe they're on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, they'll be able to see ads for you right there in their feeds and on those pages. When they click and return to your website, a couple of important things are going to happen. Number one, they're going to get a nice reminder of what made them take an interest in you in the first place, and perhaps they'll stick around a little bit longer this time. And number two, you'll get a second chance to convert them, which is huge because most people don't usually convert on their first visit to a website. The more times they come back, the more likely they are to convert. So that's retargeting in a nutshell. In terms of why companies choose to make retargeting part of their digital strategy, well, no matter who you are or what type of products you sell or services or where you're located in the world, 90% or more of your visitors are going to leave without converting, and a great many of those are going to bounce right off the front page. It's an unfortunate reality of doing business on the web, but it means that 10% is worthy of a little bit more of your time and attention because they're a little further down your funnel, they are closer to converting. Retargeted ads have a higher click-through rate than regular ads. They get clicked on more often than ads where everyone who loads a certain page is shown a particular ad because it's more relevant to the user. It's based on their recent history. It's based on what they're in the market for right now. Retargeting allows you to show specific messages to different groups of people on 100,000 plus websites. Pretty much every website in the world that makes money makes at least some of their money from ad networks and ad exchanges. Ads are what make the web go round. You can leverage the traffic that you already get, and Perfect Audience will help you follow them nearly anywhere. You can follow them to Facebook. We have options for Twitter and Instagram. And if you're in the United States, we can help you follow them to their mobile device after they've been browsing your site on a desktop or a laptop. And if you sell a big ticket item or you're B2B or both, something where a buying decision might take weeks or even months, retargeting is good for that too because it allows you to stay with them and stay top of mind. So if you stay in front of your prospects during the time that they're doing their evaluation between you versus a competitor, when it comes down to decision time, you'll have a slight competitive edge because of all the many positive impressions of your business they'll have received. These are some general ideas of why companies choose to use retargeting. If you want to talk specifics, I recommend you speak to your Perfect Audience Customer Success Manager, which will be me or one of my colleagues. So here's what's available in Perfect Audience. This is by no means the exhaustive list, but this is what most of our advertisers use the most often. Web campaigns are available on the Google Display Network plus other ad networks, so you can expand your reach beyond the Google Display Network. Web campaigns have the most inventory available. Like I said, 100,000 websites, billions and billions of impressions are available every single day for us to bid on your behalf. We can also assist you with dynamic web campaigns. Those are product specific with a product feed. So if you have a Google Merchant Center product feed or you're a Shopify or BigCommerce, that you can look into that to show someone the exact product they were looking at right there in the ad. Facebook campaigns are also available. You can run those through Perfect Audience if you have a Facebook page. Facebook has a slightly higher click-through rate on average than web campaigns do. We can also assist you with Instagram placements since Facebook owns Instagram. Mobile campaigns are available. There are a couple of different ways that mobile is done. First, there's inventory on mobile web pages. So like if somebody's reading the news on their phone, there's ad space available there. And if you play a lot of games or use a lot of apps on your phone, you've probably noticed some ads popping up from time to time, and we can assist you with placements in that department as well. Quick bit about Perfect Audience. We were founded in 2010. We were acquired by SharpSpring in late 2019. While you're with us, there are a few things that are very important to us and just kind of what it's like to work with us here. One of the main tenets of the business is control, specifically your control. You're going to be completely in charge of your campaigns, your budgets, your creatives, your timelines, a number of other factors that go into a successful remarketing campaign. We're going to be very transparent with your data. We're going to show you where your ads are serving, where they're working best, where there might be a little bit of room for improvement. And we'll give you the easiest possible user experience with our video tutorial library, our detailed knowledge base, webinars like this one, and our awesome support team. So in short, we are here to meet all of your retargeting needs. When you've signed up for a Perfect Audience account, the first question people usually have is, what's next, or how do I get started? Here are the steps that you want to take after signing up. The very first thing you're going to do is install the site tracking tag so that we can track your visitors. The site tracking tag is a little piece of code that we give you to put on every page of your website. I'm going to show you exactly where to get that in just a few moments. Make sure your tracking tag goes on every single page of your website. Some people make the mistake of only putting it on their home page or their thank you page, but to maximize audience size and accuracy, the tracking tag needs to go on every page. Next, you're going to create a conversion goal. A conversion goal is what you want people to do on your site, such as buy something or sign up for an account. You'll also create a retargeting audience. An audience is the people, groups of users who you're going to show your ads to. Now, if I could elaborate on that a minute, because goals and audiences are created in similar ways, but are two different and distinct things. A conversion goal is an action. It's an event that takes place on your website. It is a what. So what are you tracking? Is it when someone creates an account? Maybe they fill out a contact form so you can contact them and discuss your products and services further. And in e-commerce, it's usually buying a product is measured as the conversion. A retargeting audience, on the other hand, is a demographic. It's a group of people. It's a who. So who are you tracking? Is it everyone who visits your website? People who navigate over to a certain section or page, or people who put things in a shopping cart or get to the form page and don't fill it out? Retargeting audiences are also sometimes called segments, but when they were deciding what to call this company, they decided not to go with perfect segment, which I think they made the right call. I think perfect audience just sounds better. After your website gets approved, again, that's going to take about 1 business day, you'll create your campaign for either Facebook or the web, and you will launch your campaign. So here are 6 steps to your first campaign with Perfect Audience. And we're going to go through these individually now. I'm going to click over to the platform demonstration and we will have a look. All right, here we are. This is a Perfect Audience dashboard. This is the first thing you'll see anytime you log into Perfect Audience. So we've signed up our website, submitted it for audit, and we're waiting for that. We've got to get the tracking tag installed. I won't go into exactly how that's done since everyone's website is different, but here's where you find it. You go up to Manage and you scroll down to User Tracking. Here it is. It's everything that's in this gray box right here. This needs to go on every single page of your website. It takes about 8 hours to start showing up here. You can see that it's not yet active on electmax.com because this is just a fake website for this demo. In the real world, once this is installed, this will change and start counting here. You'll get an email when that process starts. You need to cookie 250 users in a 7-day period to qualify for your free trial if you're in the free trial phase of your account. If you have a web developer who usually handles this type of task for you, you can use this green button to email it to them. We'll send them a tag and a request that they install it. And if you use Google Tag Manager, that can help you install the tag as well. So the very first thing you should do the first time you log into Perfect Audience is to install that site tracking tag. While you wait for those audiences to populate, it's a good time to create your first conversion goal. You go up to Manage, and we're going to create a conversion. Conversion goals, you recall, are what you want people to do on your site. So in this demo example, I have elecmax.com. It's an e-commerce site. I sell all types of electronics, and I want to track every time someone buys something from me. So give my conversion goal a name. I'm going to call it purchase completed. And now we need a method. What's going to happen on the website that's going to indicate this conversion should fire and be counted and be attributed to a retargeting campaign? Typically and most simply, that's going to be path. Someone lands on a particular URL. So something like that. You'll notice I didn't type in the full URL. I can't even really type in this little gray box here. Our tag is only interested in what comes afterward, after the .com or the .org, this part here, which is called the slug of the URL. If your site is set up to use query strings, you'll know, might look a little bit something like that. Event conversions are also available. Events are for anything you can control with JavaScript, such as if a certain button was pressed or someone stayed a certain amount of time on a particular page. Events are a little more advanced than we usually handle in 101, so I'm not going to get into that today, but there's documentation available. You can see it's right here. It's linked right there. It's available on our knowledge base if you want to use events, so check it out. That documentation, like all of our documentation, is at support.perfectaudience.com. Finally, we got regular expressions. Regexes are also a little advanced for 101, but an example of when you might want that is if you wanted a subdomain like blog.yoursite.com or a very specific full URL to trigger a conversion, you can do that here. Again, take a look at the documentation if you want to use regular expressions. You will almost always use path for your conversions, so that's what we're going to do in this example. Now we've got revenue value. What's each conversion worth? This is a place where you would enter the most accurate value that you can. For example, here, if I get a flat $10 commission every time someone buys something at ElecMax, I'll just put in $10 here. It counts every time I make a sale. Just make sure it gets filled in so that we can accurately count it. We use this number to calculate a variety of statistics for you. It's a little bit more advanced, but you can import the exact revenue via your tag. So if you're e-commerce and you have different order sizes, different totals for different products, you can use your tag and pass through information like the order number and the order total. So I recommend that you look into that. It's only a couple of slight modifications that you can make to the tag, and it's great for tracking because sometimes you make a $30 sale and sometimes you make a $300 sale, and you want to be able to calculate your ROI. Regardless though, it is the best way to gauge your return on ad spend, your ROI with Perfect Audience, is filling in this accurately. If you're generating leads or generating newsletter signups or something that's not a transaction taking place right at the moment, the value to enter here is the average value of a lead or a signup. Finally, we want to toggle this count by. Do we count every conversion? Count once per order ID or once per user? Depends on what you're doing. If it's something someone could do multiple times, like buy something, you're going to count them all or count once per order ID. If it's something they can only do once, like create an account or register for an event, set it to count once. I'm going to count every conversion because I make my $10 every time someone makes a purchase. Create our conversion goal. You can create as many conversion goals as you want. You can track up to 3 per campaign. Let's create an audience segment now. Up to manage and down to create audience. Your audience will, your account rather, will start with a default audience called all visitors. That's everyone who's visited any page with the tracking tag installed. But we're going to create a new audience now because I have a specific plan for a certain campaign I want to run. In my electronics store, I sell all types of smartphones, and I'm going to create an audience of smartphone browsers, and I'm going to call them browsers, smartphone browsers. We'll come back to this duration in a moment. Now, this is a little different from how we did conversions. So I have lots and lots of smartphone pages on my website. For all the different brands and makes and models and everything like that. I don't want to make each of them their own audience because that's going to take me all morning. Instead, what I'm going to do is hit here, smartphones, and then use a wildcard. Use the asterisk so that anywhere they go within the smartphone section of my website, they'll get added to the smartphone audience. In general, with audiences, if you want to be granular and specific and tailor the messaging to one particular niche section of your audience, you can create a bunch of different small audiences and do that. If you want to be broader, wildcards will help you be a little bit broader. Query strings, events, regular expressions, these all work the same way that conversions did. Look into the documentation for events and regular expressions. For email audiences, we can send you a pixel that if they open that email in a web browser with their images enabled, we'll add them to an audience as long as they are cookied via our tag on your site as well. So now back to this duration. How long do you keep someone in an audience is what this is asking here. And it depends on what you're doing. You can choose 1 to 90 days. You can leave it blank to keep them indefinitely. We usually recommend about 30 days. So using this example, if it's been 60 days since someone came to my website shopping for a smartphone, that person's a lot less likely to click, return, and convert than someone who was there earlier today or earlier this week, right? I probably don't want to spend money showing ads to someone who was there 60 days ago. They probably went and got a smartphone someplace else. You can always adjust this up or down whenever you want, but we usually recommend about 30 to begin. Quick check to make sure everything's okay, and we create our audience. You can create as many audience segments as you like. One that we definitely recommend that everyone create is this audience of converted users. There's a couple reasons we recommend this. Number one, if you have this audience of purchased or converted users, you can exclude them from retargeting campaigns, which is usually a good idea. People don't like seeing ads for something they just bought, even if they really like it and they're really excited about it. And you probably shouldn't spend money showing ads to those people, especially if they can't convert multiple times. You could also set up a different campaign that only targets those people who purchased recently and maybe offer them a special coupon or a discount or membership or something to engage your best customers. It's up to you. But the way you make that audience is you just create an audience and make it identical to your conversion goal. Exact same path, exact same event or whatever that might be. Let's create some ads. We'll go up to Manage. You'll notice a lot happens in the Manage menu. Down to Create Ad. Got a variety of ads available to you here at Perfect Audience. Banner ads are for the web. Facebook ads are for Facebook, naturally, as well as some other placements like Fan and Instagram and places like that. We also have dynamic banners like I alluded to earlier. Great for e-commerce, very specific, shows someone the exact product that they're looking at. So if you're e-commerce, you can show someone the exact handbag or t-shirt or dining room set that they were viewing. If you have a Google Merchant Center feed or you're with one of the major e-commerce providers, I recommend that you look into dynamic ads. But today, for this example, we're going to do a web ad since these are the most popular ad type. This has the most inventory all over the world. Give your ad a name, Max's smartphone ad. Give your ad a click URL. This is where you want people to be taken when they click your ad. This is my dedicated landing page for this campaign. And if you've got UTM parameters for tracking in Google Analytics, this is the time and the place to add those to your ads. And you can upload your ads in bulk or you can do them one at a time individually, like I'm going to do here. There it is. And I know your ads will, of course, look much better than this because I'm not a professional designer, but I think you get the idea here. Make sure this is ready to go, upload and submit this for review. Now, this is very important. When you submit your ads, the ads themselves need to be approved, and that doesn't happen immediately. Facebook and the web can take up to 24 hours to approve your ads. It almost never takes that long, but I don't want you to make the mistake that some people have made, which is emailing us first thing in the morning on the day you need to launch and saying, hey, I need these ads to be online right away. Can you help me? The answer is unfortunately no, we can't, because we're not in control of what runs on the ad networks and doesn't. They are. So just allow yourself 24 hours, get your creative uploaded ahead of time. So now that we have a conversion goal, an audience, and some creative here, it's time to launch a campaign. We're going to go up here to launch new campaign and pick our campaign type. If you're in the free trial phase of your account, this button will say start free trial. Starting your free trial and launching your first campaign are essentially the same thing. We're doing a web campaign. The first thing we've got to do is decide what we're going to do with each of our audiences. Are we going to target, exclude, or ignore them? Target means show these people ads. Exclude means do not show these people ads, even if they're in another audience. And ignore means ignore. Don't do anything with this audience one way or the other. We're targeting smartphone browsers because that's what our creative and messaging is geared toward. We're excluding converted users, and we're ignoring all visitors because those other users are probably looking at laptops and headphones and other stuff. Okay, and of course, use your imagination. This is just a demo, but you cannot target an audience of 0. It's a bit like dividing by 0. It simply doesn't work. Geo-targeting is available, so your ads are seen only in certain places. You can target specific nations of the world. You can target designated market areas, DMAs, large metro areas of the United States. This is the same areas that like the Nielsen company uses. So for example, if you wanted to do Omaha, Nebraska, that's an option for you. I'm going to target all countries. I'm going to go down here and select which ads I want to be part of my campaign. I'm going to add all 3 of these. You can see that there's some others I uploaded previously. You can see with, I just did one size for the demo, this one we just uploaded, but make sure in a web campaign you're using one of each of the 4 or 5 most popular ad sizes. They're popular all across the web, they're like the industry standard. You should also use a few different images like I've done here and a couple of different taglines. We've mixed up the colors a little bit here. That'll allow you to run some A/B tests within your campaigns by changing up those elements. And after your ads have been running for a while, you'll see what's getting a better response, and that'll help you make creative decisions moving forward. We recommend you modify and remove non-performing ads that aren't getting many clicks. Take a look at least every 7 to 10 days. Log in and check your dashboard to see how everything's performing. Give your campaign a name. Anytime you can give something a specific name, as opposed to like my campaign or ad number 1 or something like that, it's going to help you when you're searching for it in a big list of them. I'm going to make this $500 per week. Run today, optimized, boxes checked for tracking this conversion. So now for payment and billing and free trials and all that, so you understand this part of the process. When you create a free trial, you will enter your credit card information and a weekly budget. When your free trial campaign launches, your free trial credit will be applied. Your card will not be charged at that time. Your free trial will last for either 14 days or until your free credit is spent, whichever comes first. At that time, the system will automatically convert your trial to a paid campaign. You will be notified that that's happening. You'll get an email. We will charge whatever amount you set for the budget, so whatever you put in this box here, and that's what you'll be charged every week at a maximum. Every Monday, you'll be charged for what you spent the previous week. So let me give you an example. If this campaign that we just put together, Max's smartphone campaign, was my trial, and I did this 14 days ago, I launched and I got $100 credit, and my trial campaign spent $90 of my credit during my trial, leaving me with 10 credit dollars. Now, my 14 days are up, so I do forfeit those 10 credit dollars, but I want to keep running my ads. The system will convert this to an active paid campaign, and my ads will continue to serve. So on Monday, and every Monday from now on, I'll be charged the amount that's required to refill my campaign to its budget. So if this spends $475 between now and this Monday I get charged $475. Pay and launch. The system will warn you that you're about to be charged. A little warning right there. We hit OK, and this campaign is launched. Your campaign will begin serving within about 1 hour, but your stats here are going to take 6 to 8 hours to appear. So don't panic if you launch and things are still zeros for the rest of the afternoon. That's totally normal. If 24 hours go by and it's still zeros, let us know and we'll take a look for you. So let's revisit the 6 steps to retargeting, knowing what we now know about the platform. We're going to install the tracking tag on every single page. We're going to create a conversion goal, usually by using path, and be sure to add a revenue value. We will create a retargeting audience and an audience of converted users. We'll upload our creative and make sure to use multiple ad sizes for the web. We'll create a campaign and just check every setting individually to make sure it's exactly what we want. And we'll launch our campaign and keep an eye out for refinements, questions, read the knowledge base, talk to your customer success manager, and make sure that it performs in an optimized way. Now's the time for you to type your questions into the questions box in the GoToWebinar control panel. I'm going to go on mute for about 10 seconds. Just put those questions in there, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I don't see any questions come through here. There's a number of ways to get in touch with us. So if you think of a great question 5 minutes after we get off the phone, we got you. You can view a recording of this presentation, other tutorial videos. A lot of them are a lot shorter than this webinar. They're just 1 or 2 minutes to show you how to do one quick thing. And our complete knowledge base is at support.perfectaudience.com. I recommend you visit and bookmark it today. You can subscribe to our blog at blog.perfectaudience.com, and our support team is support@perfectaudience.com. So to review, we're going to tag our sites, build all the stuff that I showed you how to build today, launch a free trial campaign, get in touch with your customer success manager, and register for Perfect Audience 201. That's Advanced Techniques. It's hosted by my colleague Scott Danielson. It's every Wednesday at 3:30 Eastern. Scott knows everything there is to know about the application, and the content of that webinar is all about building on what you learned today to make you into retargeting rock stars. All right, folks, that's about all I have for you today. Thank you very much for attending Perfect Audience 101, and thanks also for using Perfect Audience. We're very glad to have your business. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.